Ooh, this Focus Friday, baby. I got the song in my head. Ooh. Here's the thing. I usually do live events, like with people in the audience. There's nobody here. So if it's funny, I have to laugh at it myself. All right, welcome to the show. Today, we are going to roll up our sleeves. I've got a few things prepared for you to talk about how to get your mind right into your business. We're going to be talking about Focus Friday, your big implementation item for today. But I want you to think for a moment about your future. And I want you to think about making a financial deposit into your future bank account. A lot of times we talk about our current bank account, and sometimes that can be a frustrating discussion. I don't know about you, but I've been there before where you look at the credit card bill and you look at the bank account balance, and the bank account balance is lower than the credit card bill. So sometimes thinking about your current bank account can be a little discouraging, but I want you to think about your future bank account. 12 months, 24 months, 36 months into the future. My question for you is, what deposits are you making right now into your future bank account? We're going to talk about that. We're going to take your questions today on our live Q&A Ask Me Anything show. EdTalks Live is next. All right, hey, welcome to the show. My name's Ed Rush, 5-time #1 best-selling author, your host for the most positive place on the planet for insanely implementable ideas. And I want you to think about the concept that I just shared with you. Your future bank account. Or in this case, your future self. Part of the challenge of being an entrepreneur is treating your future self with the same kindness, compassion, and respect that you treat your current self. And the reason that I'm talking about this is because I'm going to be talking about this for months right now, which is there's an opportunity that just became available to you in this world. I said it yesterday if you were on the Zoom training that I did last night. And if you missed that, by the way, you're welcome to email my team. We're not sending out a recording or anything like that. I don't do that right now for Zoom meetings. I'm like, if it's a Zoom meeting, we're going to be there or not, okay? But if you want to get that, you're welcome to go back and ask for that, because what I talked about yesterday was so important. There is a future for you that is a very prosperous future when you make a decision to pivot. And we're going to do an event next week called The Ultimate Speaker. By the way, if you're not registered for that, now's the time. And we're going to be doing an event in June, a live event in June. You know what's interesting? I've gotten more responses. I thought when I said I'm going to do a live event, just between us kids, I thought I was going to get a lot of emails from people who were telling me that I was, killing the world or whatever. I've gotten more people who are like, save my seat. I love it, man. And by the way, if you are concerned, we're going to go about everything in a very safe way. All the safety protocols will be in place, 6 feet separation. Masks are not required. You can wear one if you want to. I certainly won't be wearing one. Not teaching for 3 days. We've got the room set up where people can be separated unless you're in your own family group or your family member, but it's going to be awesome. And we're going to be doing it live and immersive. And there'll be digital or 99.9. I'm going to do a digital recording, okay? But it's going to be awesome. By the way, if you haven't checked in over on chat, that's on the right-hand side. Facebook and Twitter, that's below. I'm going to be taking your questions today. I have a question actually from Edwin Barry, which has nothing to do with business. You asked us yesterday on the show, and I didn't get to it, but we're going to get to it today. But before I do that, I want to get into the top. I don't know why. You guys make fun of me sometimes because I take my coffee mug out and I hold it while I talk, but then I don't drink, and now I'm going to drink. Hold on. If you guys aren't drinking Rock Creek coffee, you need to reach out to my clients. All right, so I'm going to say hello to some of our friends. Gina jumped in and said, look, I'm the early bird. Let me see what time it was. Gina said, checked in at 9:35. She said, don't worry, it'll never happen again. Barry says, what's up? Yes, thank you. I changed it. So, sometimes you got to have people backing you up, like my man Barry. Good morning, Aubrey. Good to see you. Wendell Bugs. Jim, Dennis. Here's the question I'm going to get to in a second. John, welcome back to the show. Diana, good morning. That is so cool, man. We have some owls hanging around our house too, and I am in favor of the owls. We have a chicken. We have 15 chickens in our backyard. We just got eggs, by the way, so we're gonna have little baby chicks very soon. And we have owls, and owls are great if you have chickens, because when you have chickens, you have rats that come and try to eat the chicken food, but the owls, whoop, swoop in, take care of that business. Robert, good to see you as well. Happy Friday. David Zetz, my man. They're great, by the way. They're my former clients, really, really good people up there in Montana. You got to be supporting small businesses. Look, if you're drinking Starbucks right now, I'm just saying, I know you like it. If you're drinking Starbucks, there's somebody else that you need to be buying coffee from, all right? Okay, so let's get into the content for today. So I'm going to answer your questions. So if you could ask me whatever question you want. It could be business related, life related, personal development, human performance, time management, family question, if you really want me to ask the question. By the way, some of you got this in the mail this week. Some of you got a package that looks just like this. It came from Priority Mail, and it's got your Ultimate Speaker Manual. I should say this for those of you who are here, new or diehards. EdTalks Live will come back 2 weeks from now. We're not going to be streaming live on YouTube. I do have something I'm going to be putting up on Monday that's recorded content. But right now, for the next 2 weeks, all of the 10 o'clock trainings are happening right here, ultimatespeaker.com. So if you're not registered, now is the time, and you get 3 events for the price of 1. It's a really good deal. And I'm going to send you a manual through the mail with a little letter from me, and we're going to drop that today when you enroll. Okay, so I want to start today. And by the way, if you just joined us, today is open Q&A with me. Boom. And that was when I had shorter hair. That was before my wife was cutting my hair. All right. So today I want to start today to talk about one of the tools that I've discovered over the last 2 years that has made a huge difference in my life, in my vitality, in my ability to overcome stress, in my ability to regulate emotions. And it is the same thing you do all day, every day, without even thinking, which is your breathing. Now, some of you have heard me in intimate trainings talk, and we did, if you came to our Business Accelerator group back in January, we did a session on breathing. One of the greatest things about breathing, your heart rate, for the most part, it's difficult for you to control that. Sometimes you can control your heart rate through breathing, okay? But for the most part, your heart's gonna go up and down based on your activity level. Well, the breathing is the only activity in the body that happens on its own, autonomously, but you can control. So if you wanna hold your breath, you can hold your breath. If you wanna breathe slower, you can breathe slower. But when you're, like, for example, like me on a show like this today, you're just breathing and not thinking about it unless you choose to think about it, in which case I wouldn't be teaching you. So for the most part, the breath happens simply autonomously, but there are moments when you can interface with your breath and change it. And I've tried 3 different breathing techniques with success with each one of those. And I'm going to talk about each of those in just a second. But what I'm going to encourage you to do, especially as you go into this weekend, is take, 5 minutes a day just to focus on your breathing. It's an amazing practice. The first thing is it centers you. All of a sudden, a lot of your cares go away. The second thing is when you do a quick breathing session, again, like something like 5 minutes, every single time, it's amazing. Every time when you get done with that, you actually feel better. I don't know why. I mean, maybe it's just the breathing, or maybe it's the focus, or maybe it's the fact that you're forgetting all of your cares and concerns, but you actually feel better. So I want to show you a couple of websites. These are just resources that I've used in the past, and one that I'm using now. The first, really, when I first got into breathing, I started with this one. And some of you heard me talk about this in a recent weekly flight briefing. By the way, if you're not getting weekly flight briefings, where's the website? Nope, there it is. edrush.com. Sign up for that. You'll get my weekly flight briefing. All right. On one of the weekly flight briefings, I talked about the concept of Wim Hof. The Wim Hof breathing method essentially is designed to breathe in heavy. And by the way, I should say this, I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. Consult your doctor before you do anything. I'm not giving you medical advice. Breathe in and then breathe out, but not all the way out, and then breathe in. And you do that about 40 times and then hold your breath. You can typically hold your breath for about 60 to 120 seconds on an exhale. Okay, and you time that, you do 3 rounds of that, and that's Wim Hof. Okay, and when you get done with Wim Hof, I don't know if you've ever done it before, but when you get done, you're like, man, I feel good. Okay, so the first foray I had into breathing exercises was using and trying out the Wim Hof method. And if you're a newbie to it, there's a free app. You can try it out. which is what I did. Now, the next one, last year, I tried a technique called box breathing. Box breathing is exactly what it sounds. It's a box. So the way that I do it, and it doesn't have to be this interval, but the way I do it is 5-second inhale, 5-second hold, 5-second exhale, 5-second hold for 5 minutes. Okay, if you follow that, that's 15 cycles of that. Okay, so it's breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold, and then you do it again. 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds. Now, if you've just been working out, you're not gonna be able to hold like that, but when you do that just for 5 minutes, it's amazing. You check yourself going into a breathing exercise like that, see how you feel, where your anxiety level is at, how you're feeling this particular day, and then when you come out of it, do the same thing. And every time I do this, I'm telling you, I'm like, man, I feel better. It's kind of interesting, right? When you think about it, because a lot of times our external world is, we think our external world is telling us how we should feel. A lot of times it's coming from right here, and you can hack into your emotions using your body, okay? The third breathing technique, and it's one that I started trying out. Oh, by the way, quick one. There's an app that I use. There's an app that I use to, I'm laughing because this app, it's called Pranayama. This might be the worst app I have on my phone. It's like old, outdated, and archaic, but the cool thing about Pranayama is it gives you it gives you sounds when you're breathing. So you hear that? Inhale, hold, exhale. So it gives you that way when you're doing this exercise, you can do it with your eyes closed, okay? So the app Pranayama, I don't get any kind of affiliate referral or anything like that. And then the third system, and I just started this system. I'm reading this book right now, and I just started this system called the Oxygen Advantage. I'm not kidding you. I'm like 4 days into this, but I'm working on this, and it's actually a completely different approach. It's an approach to training yourself to be able to take smaller breaths, because according to the author, less is more. A perfect balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Anyway, I just thought I would share that with you. It's just one of the things that I'm focusing on, and I'll just give it to you this way. As you go into this weekend, take it in the morning. You know, you've got a 3-day weekend, hopefully, that you've got a little bit of a break. So first thing in the morning, just wake up. Maybe do Wim Hof, maybe give box breathing a shot. Maybe try Oxygen Advantage. There's an app for that also online. If I had to choose between the three, I'd say go for box breathing. Just start out 5-5-5-5 and see how you feel. At the end of 5 minutes of breathing, you will be amazed. Now, the larger point to this is how you feel a lot of times isn't determined by what's going on around you. Sometimes you think, man, my spouse just really ticked me off, or my kids, if they would just, or this business situation, if this would just go away. But the truth is, a lot of it is happening inside, coming to the outside. And because of that, you can hack the inside to create the outside. So if you have one of those mornings where you wake up, and I certainly have those, where you're like, man, the world stinks. At the very least, come back at it with just a little bit of a breathing exercise, maybe some meditation, see how it goes. All right, so there's a little opening tip for you starting out the day. All right, I'm going to say hello to a couple folks in chat, and then I'm going to get into your questions. Gina's got a question. Let me just do this. Dr. Wendy Lee, welcome. Charles, good to see you as well. Snow? No way. What's up, Linda? Good to see you as well. Gina has a question. Dennis got his manual. Come on now. If you're not registered, I'm telling you, now's the time. And the deadline, by the way, is Sunday. So we're closing the doors. I'm actually taking that website down. I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating when I tell you this is the last Ultimate Speaker. Okay? The plans into the future are new events on new topics. So if you want to get the Ultimate Speaker training, now's the time. And you test me on this and see if 10 days from now that website isn't completely gone. All right? Thank you, Linda. Oh, the shirt. It says, don't stop. Thinking about tomorrow. Me now, believing. All right. Dr. Wendy Lee, I've got your question as well. Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right. David Zetz, let's see what you got here. Meditation changed my life after I read 21 Day Miracle. However, many years ago, that was that. Now I commit to no more than 30 minutes a day. It's awesome. A couple months ago, I was doing almost an hour a day. I don't do that now. Good morning, Midori. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you as well. Dennis, I've got your question as well. Thank you, Robert, Ron, and David. All right, so let's get to the Q&A. If you just joined us, by the way, and a whole bunch of you just did, my name's Ed Rush. This is Open Q&A. We call our day Focus Friday. I'm going to jump into the questions. And all the way back in the beginning, I've got a question from Dr. Ed Barry, who says, this is just a pilot question. He says, how do you fighter pilots avoid head-on collision when you pass each other going 500 miles an hour in the opposite direction? Just wondering. All right, so typically a dogfight, if my two hands are two airplanes, typically in a training mission, this is not in combat, okay? In a training mission, you normally start maybe a mile and a half to 2 miles away, and then you take a turn away, begin to accelerate, say we're at 15,000 feet, begin to accelerate, and then begin to turn in, okay? At about 3 miles or so, both airplanes begin to turn in. When both airplanes begin to turn in, by just pure geometry, there's a natural angle that begins to happen. So for example, this airplane may be a little bit inside, this airplane may be a little bit outside, maybe this one is turning a little far harder to the inside and this one is to the outside. At the point at which a natural angle begins to develop, the flight lead will do what's called calling the pass, okay? So say I'm the flight lead, as we begin to turn in, if my wingman is turning inside of me, what I will do is I will call left to left, and that's two airplanes passing each other on each other's left-hand side. So as the flight lead, as this turns in, I'll see my student coming into the inside, and I'll come up on the radio and I'll call left to left. My student will come back and will say left to left. Now, at this moment, a 500-foot bubble appears over every airplane in the imaginary world. And every airplane, you have to stay outside by the rules of our practice engagements. You stay outside of that 500 bubble. So we'll pass no closer than 500 feet, which is pretty close still anyway, no closer than 500 feet. If we're turning in and I'm coming into the inside, I'll call right to right. My wingman will repeat right to right, and we'll pass each other right to right. It's one of the 20 safety rules that we have in dogfighting engagements, which, by the way, we brief those on every single flight that we go out. So left to left, right to right, the 500-foot bubble, the hard deck, which is usually at about 5,000 feet above any water or terrain or anything that. And I love that question, and thank you for asking me a flying question, because those are fun to answer. All right, so let's keep rocking. If you just joined us, my name is Ed Rush. This is the Ask Me Anything Open Q&A show. I'm going to roll down through the Q&A section. But do me a favor, and just like Gina did just below, put the word question in your question. That way I know when I scroll through chat, because it gets pretty busy, that I have a question. You can put the letter Q if you want to, for brevity. All right, so Gina says, question related to mindset. I know I have the skills experience to blow my business up huge, but how do I convince my brain that millions are in my future when I've not yet come close? All right, so let me do this really quickly. Let me jump onto the whiteboard. Let's talk about mindset here, because this is one of those, you've seen The Secret, you've probably read like a whole untold number of mindset books. So let's just jump up here and I'll do this from the whiteboard. And I think there's enough room on the whiteboard for me to leave Gina's question right down there. Okay, let's start with an entrepreneur that's making $100,000 a year. And I don't know where you're at, Gina, in terms of this, but let's just use this theoretically. It could be 10,000, it could be 200,000, doesn't matter. Okay, let's start with an entrepreneur that's making $100,000 a year. This entrepreneur right here, if you look at their history, I would argue, in fact, I would bet money that if I could draw a line right at 100K, there was a moment in time where they were at zero, and then they got up to 100K, and then their life, basically after that, went something like this, okay? And the reason why is, as entrepreneurs, we are like a thermostat. So if you put your thermostat on 72 degrees, and it gets cold, the heat kicks in, and it pushes it up to 72. If it gets hot, the air conditioning kicks in, and it moves it back to 72. A thermostat is designed to keep someone at a certain level. Okay, so if you've been making $100,000 a year for the last few years and you're like, what's the deal? It's because your behavior is $100,000 worth of behavior. And that's because your thinking is $100,000 thinking. Okay, so the first key to changing this, and there's actually two keys, right? The first key is to change the way you think. But the second key, and this is where the secret movie falls flat, is to change the way you behave. All right, so most people who teach mindset stuff are like, you just need to think about the money that you're going to have and let the universe deliver the money. And by the way, you will not hear me talk about the universe. There's a simple reason for that. The universe is inanimate, okay? It's like this whiteboard. So it doesn't make sense to be like, the whiteboard gave me money. If I'm gonna talk about blessings, I'm gonna talk about blessings, all right? If I'm gonna talk about my relationship to God or my creator, that's the way that I'm gonna do it, but I'm not gonna talk about the universe like it has a brain, all right? But there are universal principles that act like they have a brain in your life and your business. Now, when it comes to thinking, the challenge is your subconscious mind is going to take your input and act as if it's true. So if all you do all day long is play video games where people are shooting each other, your subconscious doesn't know the difference between a video game and real life, and your subconscious is designed to just make you better at whatever you want it to make you better. So if you play video games, people shooting each other all day long, your subconscious is like, all right, she wants me to get really good at shooting people all day long. And that's what your subconscious mind is going to work on. That's what your dream state is going to work on. And it's going to get very, very good at that. Okay. If your subconscious mind is trying to figure out how you're going to like find a girlfriend, your subconscious is going to focus on that and your behavior is going to follow that. Okay. So the step to take when it comes to creating a mindset around money, the step is to create something that your subconscious can legit get its brain around, okay? So for example, one of my goals in life is to be worth $1.2 trillion. The trouble with that is, in terms of setting your subconscious, I think about it, right? But the trouble with setting your subconscious on that is the subconscious is like, I don't even know what to do with that. I don't even know where to start. Whereas, if I set my mind on, say, 10 million, okay, it would be a realistic enough goal that my subconscious is like, I think I could work on that for you, okay? So go back to the $100,000 person. The $100,000 person is going to have a difficult time setting their subconscious mind on 10 million, but it might have a pretty easy time setting your mind on 500K or maybe 1 million. Okay, so the first thing is you need to have a number that in your mind you could be like, okay, I can imagine that. Then what you do is you spend some of your meditation time simply imagining what that would be like, what that would look like, what that would sound like, and what that would feel like. That's V.A.K, visual, auditory, kinesthetic. What it would look like, what it would sound like, people talking about how successful you've been, and what it would feel like. And you need to put yourself in a spot almost like you're playing a video game where your subconscious mind doesn't actually know that's not real, okay? So you're imagining this to the point at which your subconscious is like, man, we're worth like $500,000. You think about this before you go to bed, okay? You start dreaming about things. Next thing you know, you start to come up with new ideas. But then what has to happen next, okay, is you have to start to behave like you're a $500,000 person. That's the way that you think about yourself. That's the way that you think about the relationships around you. That's the way you deal with distractions. That's the way you deal with emotional people in your life. You know what I mean? That's when great entrepreneurs begin to start cutting people out because their $500,000 person doesn't deal with stuff like that, okay? It's the way that you carry yourself. It's the way that you communicate about yourself in the marketplace. So when I hear somebody who will come up to me, this happens at events quite a bit, they'll come up and they'll be like, hey, just wanted to introduce myself. I go, tell me about what you do. And the first thing they say is, I'm just a new author. I'm like, wait a second, what? And when they use the word just, I look at them and go, you never say that word again. Take that word out of your vocabulary. You are never just nothing, okay? Well, I'm just a new author person is a person who's thinking of themselves as this just, and they're behaving as just, okay? So your behavior patterns begin to fall in line with the way you're thinking. Now, when it comes to behavior patterns, man, we could go deep into this one. That includes how you're communicating about your products and services? Are they the best thing for someone, or are you like, well, like if you want to do it, I'm not sure. Okay, that's important, how you communicate with. Listen, one of the things that I do well, okay, and y'all know this, so I'm just saying, is I communicate certainty. That is a trained way of communicating, but the reason I communicate certainty is because I believe it. Like when I said yesterday, the world changed and there's going to be bankrupt and millionaires. I believe that with all of my heart. There's no doubt, there's no uncertainty. I believe what I said was true. But when I communicate that level of certainty, people are drawn to the fact that they're like, wow, he seems to know what's up, okay? That's a way of communicating based on a belief system, okay? So your behaviors in terms of your communication, your behaviors in terms of your pricing, right? So the couple ones, your behavior in terms of communicating, your behavior in terms of price, okay? And your behavior in terms of buying. Now, I'm not saying go spend a whole bunch of money. What I am saying though is, for example, one of the very first things that I did in business that made the biggest result is I invested in somebody's $15,000 coaching program. And I didn't even have the money to do that. But when I did that, I started charging what I was worth because I had paid someone else what they were worth. So the idea of stepping up into the big time and into the playing field, I'm not saying like go buy like a Bugatti or something like that, although that would be nice, right? But sometimes it has to do with the way that you invest. Hey, like, you know what? Instead of trying to be cheap on getting ads run online, you're like, shoot, I'm gonna set aside my meal budget, my dinner out budget, but I'm gonna put it into ads, right? To try to act like that while you're online. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful. Let me switch cameras and come back to you. Oh, I switched to the wrong camera. All right, here we go. Okay, a little bit longer answer to Gina's question, but I thought that was really important and hopefully that was valuable for you as well. All right, if you just joined us, this is the Open Q&A show. My name's Ed Rush. By the way, if you hadn't had the chance to click that like button that says thumbs up, that tells YouTube and everybody else that this is content you're interested in. If you hadn't had a chance to subscribe, boom, the button's right down there. Okay, so let me see what we got here. So, hey, what's up, Giovanni? Welcome to the show. Yes, that's true. Okay, Marcus, what you just said is exactly right. It's not fake it till you make it. It's you made it, okay? So when it comes to you, most entrepreneurs I know are underselling, undervaluing, underpricing themselves. They made it. You made it. Like you are a commendable, the kind of person that people want to be like. You made it. It's not fake it till you make it. It's believe that you made it. Like it's believe that you actually is. Right there. Okay. Thank you, Salik. Very good for you. Very good. David asked a question about June. By the way, we're doing an event in June. The working title is The Big Pivot. It's going to change, by the way. I've got a couple new titles, and if anybody wants to give me suggestions, I would love to have that. There's another speaker that's used that term recently, and I don't want to step on anybody's toes. So Big Pivot is going to be, I got like 20 different names. But the event in June is June 25th to June 27th. I'm going to be showing you the 7 main areas that the world just changed, how to take advantage of those to get to the millions. And it's this way over here. One road leads to bankruptcy, one road leads to millions and billions, and I'm going to show you the millions and billions road in June. If you're not registered for that, the deal I have going right now is when you register for Ultimate Speaker, which is right below, ultimatespeaker.com, you get that June event. So David, the event site is just east of Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. We meet at a beautiful TV studio, so we're not meeting at a hotel. My team will send out some hotel recommendations once we get your confirmation. But you can stay wherever you want to. And Las Colinas, I think, is the nicest area to stay. There's a little lake down there and everything. So there it is. All right. So let's get back to the questions. Meditation. I have to just scroll through it and make sure that I didn't miss somebody's question. All right. Barry says, what's your incentive other than your free book sequence when you begin to take a new prospect through your initial funnel? So Barry, I have 2 main funnels. Let me show you. I just put up a brand new opt-in page too. So let me show you my 2 main funnels. So if you go to edrush.com/freebook, you'll see this is the Take the Shot book. This is by far the best format for an opt-in page that I think I've ever seen and ever tested. I've got another one here for 21 Day Miracle, which I just put up. Again, same format. You can see the format, right? There, that one right there, this one right here. This little button that pops up and brings this in increases conversions. This is the best one. And if you don't have an opt-in page like this, use this. Now, the other opt-in, I have two other ones. edrushbook.com. This is for people who have already purchased 21 Day Miracle. Sorry, it's EdRush. I'm doing this fast. It's edrush.com/bonus. This is for people who've already purchased 21 Day Miracle, and it gives them access to a 21-day Kajabi training, a live training via video inside of Kajabi, okay? So that is the other one. And then the other last one, and I just redid this, is on the homepage of edrush.com. You'll see that we actually reworked this entire thing. I had some advice from a guy named Michael Fortin, who's one of the best marketers that I know. We reworked this whole thing to drop this opt-in right here on page 1. So pretty good converting page there as well. And it doesn't hurt that my hands are like pointing right at that, okay? So hopefully that got you what you needed as far as opt-ins. Best advice I can give you, get a page up like this as quickly as you can. Like that page or like that page. You can see the layout is almost identical. The color is just a little bit different. This is more branded EdRush colors. This is more connected to 21 Day Miracle. But either way, these pages convert incredibly well. In certain cases, over 50% to cold traffic, which is insanely high, okay? So good. All right, good question. All right, cool. If you just joined us, by the way, my name is Ed Rush. This is Open Q&A, Focus Friday. Oh yeah, but by the way, what Focus Friday means is in about 18 minutes, I'm gonna be taking your big implementation and action item for the next 7 days, all right? And for those of you who just joined us, I'm gonna be, EdTalks Live is going into Zoom for Ultimates. Man, I should get rid of this picture. I didn't realize that I had myself off a camera. It's when your fingers are your own producer, sometimes you do that. If you, for the next 2 weeks, this show is going into Zoom for the delivery of the Ultimate Speaker product. So if you're not registered, boom, now's the time. You get a whole bunch of extra bonuses when you do that. All right, let's get back into the questions. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Mindset question from Gina. Dennis, question about getting out of the starting gate. I've got a great and important message. I can deliver it well. I have ideas for products, but how to kick over the starting line and into the world. All right, so okay, so let me just, I'm going to caveat by saying this is probably about a 5-hour question. So when I work one-on-one with my entrepreneurs and really dig into the business, we come out after 5 hours with a strategy for you to go bam, okay, into the world. Without the 5 hours, let me do it as quickly as I can and still give you a great answer. And to do that, I'm actually going to go up to the whiteboard because I think this question is important. It doesn't matter. Look, if you're already making $1 million, this is a good question anyway for you, okay? And I think what I'm going to do just for space purposes, here, hang on. I'm going to get rid of the question, Dennis, so hopefully everybody remembers what Dennis just said. Okay, so out of the gate, so starting from scratch. What I'm going to tell you is important and is the case at least 99% of the time. The first thing you start with is your market. Who they are, where they are, what they want. Who they are, who are they, where are they, what do they want? This is the brainstorming exercise that'll take you about a few hours. If you come to Big Pivot, we're gonna start here actually. Well, we're gonna start with purpose, but this will be next. So targeting your ideal market. Right after that, and when I mean right after that, I mean like that day, you create an offer. You'll notice there's not a landing page, there's not an opt-in page, there's not a book yet, even though I know you have a book. There's not a website, there's not a webinar, there's not a funnel, There's nothing. There is an offer, okay? And the offer is designed around, remember I said, who are they? Where are they? What do they want? The offer is designed around what they want. What is the big problem that you solve? What is the one thing that when you do this, it changes this in someone's life or business? When you think about your market, the offer is always related to your market. When you think about yourself, your offer is always related to you. So that's why you always start with your market. What I mean by an offer, by the way, because most people know what an offer means, but sometimes people are like, I'm not totally sure what you mean by offer. What I mean by an offer is something that you're going to give someone in exchange for money. So in one case, maybe it's your advice, your time, and your expertise on navigating change and difficult circumstances, and you're working one-on-one with somebody for 6 months for $5,000 or $997 a month, right? Did you catch that? So maybe it's you coaching them, and the price is 6 times $997 or just $5K when they pay you up front. And I'll tell you, quite a few of my coaching students have come right out of the gate with this offer. 6 by $997 or $6,000 or $5K up front. Boom. Just like that. And you're giving people advice. Now, the reason I start with this is 2 reasons. Number one, it's easier for someone to say yes to one-on-one personal time with you than it is some product over here on this membership site. The second thing is by offering something one-on-one or personal to the market that you have in mind, by doing that, you get into one-on-one conversations. And in the one-on-one conversations, you find out all the objections, all the questions, all the people's concerns, all the things that they've done in the past. You get free market research, okay? From here, after this, then you build the entire business, okay? After this, you've got everything, including your platform, your opt-in page, your lead forms, your social media strategy, everything else. You start with market, 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 you start with market. Most entrepreneurs who come to me start by saying, I am this person and here's what I do. You start with your market, okay? So there's a little quick hit for you on that one. Like I said, there's a longer answer specific to your business, but I wanted to get you what you needed right there. All right, so, woo! These Friday ones go fast. All right, if you just joined us, my name's Ed Rush. Open Q&A. We're on Focus Friday, baby. Hanging out, having some fun. By the way, I'm gonna keep saying it today. I'm done saying it after today, though, because we're done after today. Well, after Sunday, really. But after Sunday, I'm not promoting this event. Ultimate Speaker, say goodbye. Say goodbye to Ultimate Speaker. I'm not kidding. The website's going away and everything. But when you enroll, you're going to get this packet, priority mail. They're all getting dropped today. With the Ultimate Speaker manual in the mail, you're going to get access to the Kajabi site, which my team and I were just working on this morning. Looks amazing. You should have that, by the way, by Monday. You should have access to everything by Monday, and it's going to be awesome. And the website is below. You got a payment plan on there as well. And if you're not registered by Sunday, you're going to miss out on the last one. It's going to be awesome. All right, so let's get back to the questions. A lot of action in chat today. Love it. Barry, David. Oh, I did your question. Dr. Wendy Lee, what do you use to create the lead pages? ClickFunnels, lead pages, or something else? All right, so what I do, I don't necessarily recommend, but let me just show you what I do. This is my lead page for 21 Day Miracle. If you go to, I don't know if hopefully I'm logged into, well, I won't take you through this. What I do is I take, all right. So this page, where was I? This page is inside of ClickFunnels. Now, the truth is, this was a page I gave to ClickFunnels to put into ClickFunnels, okay? So it's one of 3 pages that I actually gave them that are my best converting pages that I say, hey, look, just put them in there. So what I do, Wendy, is I go into ClickFunnels, I build the page, output the page, and then my team takes it and builds it on my website. Because I don't want I don't want people going to ClickFunnels, a ClickFunnels landing page. I want them to come to my own website. Okay, so you'll see this website is on edrush.com. It's 21-day-miracle-lp. That page is on edrush.com, but it is a ClickFunnels formatted and generated page. Okay, so the short answer to the question is I recommend ClickFunnels. Okay, and if you get in there and you scroll through and you don't see that page, you can always ask me, and I can actually share the page with you into your ClickFunnels, and you can have it. But it should already be there. Like I said, it's in ClickFunnels because I gave it to them when we were doing a promotion with them. All right, cool. Let's see. Did I miss something? Oh. Thank you, Marianne. Gosh, the last week, I was at like 993. Whew. When you get above 1,000 subscribers, you're allowed to start advertising your website on your own videos on YouTube. And finally, okay, so thank you, Giovanni. You are such a positive person, man. I appreciate that. All right, so let's keep going. By the way, if you just joined us, my name is Ed Rush. This is Open Q&A. Focus Friday, baby. I'm coming to you in 8 minutes for your big Focus Friday items, but I'm going through the questions right now. Linda Cortez, is it better to put up an upsell offer on a thank you page or put opt-ins into an email chain where I drip out more valuable content with the upsell offer embedded, or maybe both? Okay, I think I get the question. So somebody comes to your website, they opt in, they buy your initial product, and now you're asking about the upsell, I think. So here's the thing. If you have a second product to offer people, all of this, and it's relevant and connected, all of the statistics and the testing that I've done have shown that you will get about 20% of the people who buy the first product to buy the second product. Okay, so let's say you have a $997 product and you have another $500 product. Putting the $500 product as an upsell, one-click upsell on the second page, about 20% of the people will take it. And in fact, 20% of the people will take it, and it will reinforce it'll actually help to reinforce the decision that they just made. Okay. Now you said, do I do it on an upsell page or via email? Do it in both if you can. That said, Linda, because I know more about your business than most, what I would recommend is get that first page going and test and tweak and track and try that offer until you know for sure how good it's working, and then worry about all the upsell stuff. Most of the time when I build funnels, even now, it's one product funnel because I'm trying to get that one right first and then move on to the next one. Okay, so thank you for that question. Good stuff, very good stuff. Slee, thank you for saying that. I do appreciate that. I am taking Memorial Day off. We're gonna have some hot dogs, hang out as a family, and chill. And I'm gonna get ready because Ultimate Speaker online training is starting on Tuesday, baby. Thank you, Dennis, as well. Good to go. Question from Wendy. All right, I'm gonna do this one, but welcome everyone. If you just joined us, by the way, this is Open Q&A. Time to get your questions in. By the way, I've got time maybe for like 2 or 3 more questions, and usually the end of this, we get into like a little bit of a rapid fire round. Dr. Wendy Lee, how would you prioritize book writing, program development, talk polishing? All right, so, oh man. So I'm just trying to picture your specific business because I know what you do. By the way, the answer to this question is different for everyone. Again, remember what I said to Dennis, if we're in an immersive coaching one-on-one environment, I have the ability to really unpack your business and to go, yeah, this is really important. I've had business owners come in and they're like, hey, this is the book I'm working on. And I'm like, forget that. You can do that 6 months from now. Like, for example, if I was consulting me right now, I would not recommend that I start. I have a 6th book ready to go. If I was consulting me, I would not recommend that I start my 6th book because the truth is, all of the juice that I need right now is coming offline on this book. And another book isn't going to give me anything more than just a few new eyeballs. What I need to do is continue to approach and convert my ideal market, which is what I'm doing on LinkedIn. Okay? So again, the answer is different for everyone. Wendy, and I'm going to give you an answer you didn't ask. The first one is, if you don't have a proven, tested offer that works every single time, do that first. And if that's what program development is, do that first. After that, then work on your messaging, which is actually your talk. And after that, the book should just fall into place on its own. Okay? Cool. This is a great question, dude. Thank you. And this is I think this is my last question. So if you had asked a question, chat's super busy today. If you asked a question and I didn't mention it or get to it, take your... Thank you, Dennis. That's so great, man. You guys are awesome. So if you didn't get your question answered, but you asked one, put it back in the chat because I might have missed it. I do my best to get through it, but chat's long. All right. So Marcus, thank you, buddy. Good question. You talked about how you've had clients more successful than you. How do you get over feeling intimidated, unqualified? Let me show you some. Let me show you some of them. This page here, I'm creating. Forget about the name; it's going to be different. This page that I'm creating, I actually made a page with a bunch of the people that I've worked with in the past, and you can see Brian Tracy, John Assaraf, Mike Koenigs, Pam Hendrickson, Bo Eason, some folks like that. So let's take Brian as an example. So Brian hired me first to help them some with their digital marketing. The second time he hired me, it was to help create a new course and help him offer it from the stage. Brian is an incredible communicator. He just wanted to get a little bit of a push on a certain product that he was trying to offer. So I had the blessing of working one-on-one in a room for several days with Brian. Let me tell you, that guy, I mean, I said, hey, I said, Brian, I want you to stand up on stage. I want you to do this. I want you to say this and stand here and say it this way. And I kid you not, dude went up there and like did it. I had goosebumps. I'm like, Brian Tracy's like on stage saying the thing I said to say and doing it the same way. I had him bring someone up on stage and ask him 4 questions. I said, I want you to bring this person up on stage, put your arm around him, and I want you to say these 4 questions. And no joke, man, Brian Tracy said those 4 questions. I was like, this is so cool, man. It was like 8 years ago. So another one of the ones you see on here is a guy named John Assaraf, Star of the Secret, New York Times bestselling author. I'm not a New York Times bestselling author, but Assaraf is. And at the point he was doing it, he was doing these product launches where he'd have 5,000 people on a webcast called a Brainathon. And he brought me in to help coach him during his webcast to get maximum conversions. And so I was quarterbacking in the middle and saying, all right, say this now and do this. And I was talking to him in teleprompter, and he paid me to do that. And so, full disclosure, man, Brian Tracy is a world-class speaker. He's written 70 books. I didn't write 70 books. I'm not Brian Tracy yet speaking. John Assaraf's New York Times bestselling. I'm not a New York Times. So both of these guys in their field had greater credibility. Mike Koenigs, who you'll see on here, one of my best friends, by the way. Mike, when I got hired by Mike, he was one of the best digital marketers in the world. And he hired me initially to help him write some copy for digital marketing promotions that we were doing and to help him in his business back when he had cancer. Pam Hendrickson, who you see on here, one of the world's greatest product creators. I helped her launch a product. So all 4 of those people had businesses. So the first thing, Marcus, is remember the thing that we talked about earlier that you quoted about not fake it till you make it, but you made it. I had to bring myself to them, humbly bringing my expertise, knowing that they actually didn't care about me. And I want to explain this, what I mean by that. Yeah, Brian cared about me and John did, and we're still friends, okay? So it's not like they didn't care about me, but they didn't hire me because of me. They weren't trying to like make my life better. They wanted a result. So I came in focused on them, and I came in focused on the result. And as a coach, consultant, or advisor, all of the tension will go away and all the butterflies will go away if you spend all of your time thinking about your client, okay? Focus on the result. The second thing, and this is really important, is if you can foster a collaborative thinking atmosphere, you don't have to have all of the answers, right? So like, for example, I worked with Mike for like 7, 8 years together, and it was the 2 of us together thinking and creating that created something better than individually we could have created on our own. And Mike knew that, and I knew that. So I wasn't forced to come up with every single answer. What I was helping to create and foster was a collaborative space where we could think of things and work on things together. So, so thank you for that. Good. You know what? Someday we're all going to be celebrating when that number down there is 1 million. But boy, it took a long time to get to 1,000. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you just joined us. It's 1,000 subscribers. So click on that, click on that button below. Like 80,000 people on Instagram. But man, getting to 1,000 on YouTube was a completely different ballgame. And I had not paid attention to YouTube at all until we started doing this show. All right, so somehow I got to the end of the questions. Let me make sure I didn't miss something here. If I did, you can ask me now or you can ask me next week. All right, so we're going to shift gears quickly into Focus Friday. What I want to hear from you, write in chat on the right-hand side here on YouTube or below on Facebook. Tell me what your biggest implementation item you're going to do over the next week. I can tell you what mine is. I'm launching the training for Ultimate Speaker, and that starts on Tuesday. So, thank you, Delisa. Click the thumbs up if you haven't already done that. So if you're not registered for Ultimate Speaker, you're going to get my best stuff starting next Tuesday, and then that's it, and then we're done. Okay, so we're going to move on. Ultimate Speaker is going to go away, so this is your chance to get the kind of training you want, to show you where the world's changing, plus you're going to get access to my event in June, which makes this like a total no-brainer. I don't even know why I did it, but I did. So write in chat. Tell me what your big action item is over the next 7 days, the big thing that you're going to implement before next Friday. I'd love to hear that in chat as well. And you know what? Maybe next Friday we'll do a Focus Friday again, just inside of Zoom, because that's where all the training is going to be. Okay, so tell me that while I'm doing a quick wrap up for today. Just jump into chat and tell me what your big implementation item is, and we'll be sharing that. And then we're going to wrap up here in just a second. Now, before I do that, let me just bring you back to what I was saying yesterday. The global landscape just completely shifted. When times are certain, people get complacent. And so what happened over the last 4 or 5 years is the entire world kind of went into a little bit of a trance, like, yeah, everything's fine. Everything's fine. And then all of a sudden, in February of 2020, have you ever been in a fight? Have you ever seen it? I've been in a few fights, not recently, back in the Marine Corps days. And I've seen a few. So you know how like you see people in movies fighting and they're like, that's not even close to how an actual fight goes down. First of all, most fights end up on the ground in like 3 seconds and it turns into a wrestling match. But if it doesn't, if somebody actually gets knocked out, first of all, if somebody gets knocked out, it's like they like fold into the ground. And the second thing is, if you've ever seen somebody coming out of getting knocked out, it's one of the funniest things you'll ever see, because they can't, the mind, while the brain is rebooting, you'll see people on the ground start punching. You know, because the brain has no idea what is happening while it's rebooting. Well, in February of 2020, the whole world's like, you know, just reboot. It's like everybody's brain just went like that. And in that moment, their eyes opened up and they became aware, and the hypnotism was broken. And all of a sudden, in times of uncertainty, people are ready to invest in certainty. And I hope you heard what I just said, because I said it yesterday, but some of you caught it when I said it yesterday. Some of you caught it now. In times of uncertainty, in times of certainty, people, what did I say? In times of uncertainty, it was so great. Well, somebody in chat will tell me what I said. In times of certainty, people get complacent. Thank you. In times of uncertainty, people buy certainty. So, you as a communicator, I don't care if it's organic gardens, relationships, diet, fitness, dating, working with basketball referees, teaching people business, teaching people transition, teaching people how to start a new career. Whatever it is, the world just got your attention. I'm telling you, man, now's the time. Everybody just woke up. People are paying attention. And you have about 3 to 6 months to take advantage of this, because once that window closes, everyone's going to go back to their hypnotism. I'm talking like August, no later than September. Or sorry, no later than the election in November. Everyone's going to go back to their way of doing things. but you have an opportunity right now to carve out a market that you're going to be able to have for the rest of your life, okay? And that, by the way, is what we're going to talk about next week on Ultimate Speaker, and definitely going to be talking about in June. So if you're not registered, now's the time. All right, so thank you. Gosh, it's hysterical. You ask my coaching members, I will say something the first time exactly right, and then I'm like, what did I say? It's like first draft, it comes out, and then that's it. All right. Thank you, Marcus. You don't have to know all the answers to be willing to collaborate together. Thank you. That's good. Yeah, it does take it should take a burden off your shoulders. And by the way, every great consultant had their first coaching day. You got to remember that, first consulting day. I'm looking forward to Ultimate Speaker too. It's going to be awesome. Find key person to whom to introduce invention. I love it. Working on getting my book to #1. No. Solution focused. It's a very interesting name. I know it's not your name. EdTalks is taking a break for 2 weeks because the speaker training starts on Tuesday at 10 o'clock. And that was a decision. I wanted to give 100% of my energy to the 125, 130 people who are registered for Ultimate Speaker. I wanted to pour my heart and soul into that group. So we decided we're going to do the training in the same time each day. That way, your attention is focused, my attention is focused. So for 2 weeks, EdTalks training time will be dedicated to Ultimate Speaker. I'm going to throw a video up here on Monday. That's going to be a premiere, but it's a pre-recorded video. I just wanted to make sure that people knew like where the heck I went. Thank you. You got that right. Focus on Ultimate Speaker. Donna, good for you. Great. Ultimate Speaker student every hour. Good. I love it. I love it. Very good. Have have relaxing 3-day weekend, schedule 11 calls, close. Yeah, you got some calls to do too, dude, after that thing yesterday. Very good. Webinar record. Write a new book, put new videos in social media. Yes, you are. Gina. Very good. Good. Dennis. That's right. Who are they? The order actually is, who are they? What do they want? Where are they? Because it's market message media, but it comes out for some reason when I always say it. Who are they? Where are they? What do they want? Backyard Challenge, summer camp promotion. You're awesome, Linda. Man, you want to talk about somebody who moves fast? That's Linda Cortez right there. My man. You know what, dude? I was just thinking about you 2 days ago. If you guys don't know who this is Larry Broughton. He's the founder of the Broughton Hotel chain, former client, former Army Special Forces, total badass, and an amazing dude. And just a longtime friend. So Larry, it's good to see you, buddy. So yes is the answer to that. Every training, every single day, as soon as it's done in Zoom, will get put into the membership site. In addition to that, already in the membership site are all the live videos from the event in the fall. Okay, so my team is just putting the finishing touches right now. We were just doing it this morning on the membership site. We're gonna get that out to you this weekend, no later than Monday. So on the membership site, man, you know what? Let me do this really quickly, because why not? Hang on. Check it out. It's just kind of exciting, you know what I mean? So we might as well just share it. Inside of, where are we? Here we go. All right, so this is the Ultimate Speaker membership site. And it's not done. We're moving some things around right now, but you'll see there's a button that says start here. And by the way, you need to start there. Then there's the online training event, okay, which has 9 modules over 9 days, which haven't been recorded yet. So everything's going to be putting in there. Then you get the live unedited recordings of the event. Okay. So this is, it's getting built right now, but there are 12 sessions that are all getting put in there, Larry. So you get the live event recording so you can see all the training in the live event environment. And then this tab right here is worth the whole thing. You've got my agreements, my forms, my welcome letters, like my presentations. For example, you've got my product presentation. You've got my product presentation as a PowerPoint. You got my coaching presentation. You got my coaching presentation as a PowerPoint. All those resources are available to you. If you're already registered, for those of you already registered, we're going to get you that site soon. This weekend, no later than Monday, along with the digital version of the manual. If you registered as well, you're going to get this manual in the mail from me. So I'm going to send you the manual. So here's the deal. Some of you have like a day job and you can't watch at 10 o'clock. That's fine. It's all recorded and all available for you. And then Larry, the other bonus is June. I'm doing an event. Working title is called The Big Pivot. It's changing, but it's about this big shift in the marketplace, and you get tickets for that as well. All right. Good to see you, dude. Ah, man, it's awesome to see you. We need to connect. Last lunch was awesome we had together. Thank you. Mike Kerno, start 2 21-day sprints, one for healthy training for next basketball season, the other for studying PMP certification. Love it. Love it. Barry, ultimate speaker focus. Yes. Blessings to you, my friend. May God bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you, be gracious to you, lift up his countenance upon you, and give you peace. I'm praying for you, pal. Good to go. Yes, that's a good call, by the way, Charles. And I don't even think you need to record it. I think you should do the first one live, and I can explain what that means when we get together. Very good, Bruce Parker. Hey, good logo there too, as well. Jim says hello to Larry. It's awesome seeing you, man. Really good seeing you. It's so funny. I'm serious. I was just it was like 2 days ago. I was just thinking about you. Anyway, the website below, ultimatespeaker.com. That's the place. All right, so if you are an EdTalks Live subscriber and you're not into Ultimate Speaker, that's fine. You're going to miss a little bit, but we're going to be back in 2 weeks. So June 8th, we're going to be back right here for EdTalks Live. If you are not, if you are registered, you roll up your sleeves because next 2 weeks is going to be awesome. I'm going to show you, like for example, if you missed the webinar yesterday, I'm going to show you how the keynote speaking world closed, but the product coaching, consulting, live streaming, and live and online event world, it just opened up. I'm telling you, man, the whole world, their eyes just opened up. And I've had more product sales in the last 2 months than I've had in the last 2 years. Just think about that for a second. Just let that sink in. I've had more online products. That's not even including Ultimate Speaker, by the way. I've had more sales of digital products online in the last 2 months than I've had in the last 2 years. That should tell you something about the way the market just opened up. The way people's eyes just opened. It wasn't like I wasn't trying. It's just everybody was sleepwalking. And now they're not. And now they're looking for you. I mean, they're looking for the solution that you can provide. They're looking for your encouragement, your positivity, your focus, your fitness tips, your gardening tips. They're looking for you. So let me ask you a question. When would now be a really great time to get in front of them? Yeah, how about now? All right, so listen, we start on Tuesday. Take a great weekend, do a little breathing, do a little meditating, do a little dreaming, Gina. Like I said about your, focusing in on the goal that you want. You pick your income goal. Show up on Tuesday morning. We're gonna blow the doors off this thing. I'm telling you. Wait till you see the introduction on Tuesday. You're gonna be like, I'm in the right place. Okay. And then I'm gonna show you how the training works, and then we're gonna get right into it so that you can start making a whole bunch of money. The website's below, ultimatespeaker.com. Would love to have you inside of the training. Would love to catch up with you as well. There's a chance to get your own questions answered, open Q&A. It's all there. All right. And again, if you're just watching the show for the very first time, you get the Ultimate Speaker online training that goes for 9 days, March 26th. The week of March 26th, that's 4 days. The week of June 1st to the 5th, that's 5 days. So it's a weekend in the middle that's off. All of that goes into the membership site. All those trainings are going into the membership site. You get the live event recordings from the fall. They're already in the membership site, and you get all the resources, all of my forms and scripts and agreements and everything. It's awesome. Okay, so it's going to be so cool. No, it's just a video. So we have a way to download the chat, but it looks like when you download Zoom's chat, it looks like it was typed by Curious George. So there is a lot of gold in the chat, by the way. That's one good reason to be live. Thanks, Ed. Awesome weekend to you as well. Yes, Ron. So the quick version on this is I teach 4 ways in the standard Ultimate Speaker training. I teach 4 ways to make money with your message. keynote fees, products, coaching, consulting, advising, and books. Well, next week, I'm taking out keynote fees, even though I'm going to teach that, okay? So, and then you've got products, which just doubled. You've got coaching, consulting, which just doubled. You've got books, but then I'm adding two more. Run out of fingers. I'm adding two more. It's live streaming and digital events. So I'm going to add those two because right now that world's picking up, Ron. So there's 4 in the training that I'm going to give you from the fall, and then there's 6 that are coming in next week's training because I'm adding those 2 extra modules. In addition to that, there's another module with Michael Haig to talk about storytelling. There's my module on how to be funny from the stage, even though you're not. There's my module on how to avoid stage fright. You get my speaking treasure trove. You get the manual coming to you in the mail. I'm very excited about this. So thank you, Barry. You're the best. Thank you, Delisa. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. See you Tuesday. Aubrey, I'll see you there as well. All right, let me wrap it up by saying this. I'll see you in 2 weeks if you're not registered for Ultimate Speaker. I'll see you in a couple of days if you are. Get ready to shift quickly and get ready to get in front of your market. Look, it's going to take implementation. But look, you're not here today because you're not an implementer, okay? So as long as you're willing to follow my lead and take some simple steps to put your message out into the market, I think it's going to be awesome. And I think you're going to see incredible success. And I think you're going to put some money into your future bank account. And I think you're going to look back. We were talking about this yesterday. I think you're going to look like 5 years from now, maybe we'll have a party on a big, private Caribbean island for everybody who from 2020, we all shifted. And now everybody's millionaires, multimillionaires, and billionaires. Might as well be you. I'm serious, man. Half of the people right now with billions of dollars are like ruining the world. So it might as well be you. Remember, the sinner's wealth is laid up for the righteous. So you might as well go get it. All right. So with that, I'd love to wrap up today. Thank you for your time and attention. We will be back in 2 weeks for the reboot of EdTalks Live. In the meantime, I will catch you all inside of the Ultimate Speaker site. If you are not getting my emails, if you're not getting an update, if you haven't gotten an update by Monday on Ultimate Speaker, let us know at support@edrush.com. Sometimes I can't control where those emails go. Okay, so make sure that you're getting all of that. And if you haven't gotten the manual in the mail and you registered sometime long before yesterday, let us know that as well. I want to make sure that you get taken care of. It's going to be awesome. All right, so I'm going to hang out and chat. I will. I'm thinking about this, Mike. I shut all my groups. My groups expired all last year, and I didn't open up another mastermind, and I'm thinking about it. So thank you, Robert. Very encouraging guy, buddy. All right, so we're going to wrap up today's show. We're just a little on the long side. But I had fun. Hope you did too. I will talk to you on the other side of this. Don't forget, your job is really simple. Be bold. Go change the world.